Hey everyone, it's me, Coral. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing one of my favorite videos, and that is, well, I've only done one before, but I'm going to be doing a trope episode. This one is going to be about spooky bugs. I'm not sure if any of you watched my last one. I did my last tropes and horror video on demons. So basically what I do is I pick 4 books that are about a certain topic or include a certain thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be the meat of the story, but like tropes. Obviously I did demons. Today I'm going to be doing bugs. I'm talking about tropes like that, maybe like final girls, things like even just like books that take place on a road trip or books with cold settings, just stuff like that where it's like a repeated idea in horror. That's what I'm doing. This is what this is about. So today, like I said, I picked 4 books out. 3 of them were new reads for me. 1 I just really loved, so I'd like to talk about it again, and it, fits into this topic. So let's get this one out of the way. The first one I'd like to talk about is The Troop by Nick Cutter. I've talked about this book a lot on my channel, but I think that I just can't talk about bugs without including The Troop. This is about a group of Boy Scouts. They take a trip together with their troop master to a small island in, I think they're in Canada, and it's uninhabited. It's just small. It's just like woodsy and beachy because, obviously it's an island. And since it's uninhabited, they don't expect to meet anybody, but they have an unexpected visitor who has genetically modified parasites that he exposes everybody to. So it is a great survival horror book. I like the aspect of it being like these boys secluded on an island. Like, they aren't adults, they don't know what to do. I mean, even adults wouldn't know what to do in this situation. And then there's, the problem with like, even if we make it off this island, are we going to infect other people with this crazy parasite? So this one is great. I think it would be a perfect summer read. It's pretty gruesome and gory, and there's some really interesting characters in this one too. The next book I'd like to talk about is Bedbugs by Ben H. Winters. This I just read. This is the first time I've read it, and I had to start out by saying, like, it's a Quirk book. It was published by Quirk, and I think they just do like something special with their books where they just try to like enhance the experience of reading the book by adding these little things like that. They also do that with Grady Hendrix books. All his books look fantastic, and I just love that. It's like an added experience when you read it. So this is a story of a married couple and their young daughter. They live in New York, and their living space is kind of cramped, so they're looking to upgrade. And obviously it's in New York, it's expensive, and they are having a hard time finding something in an area that they like for a decent price. But finally, after months of searching, they find a nice little apartment. It's like a brownstone that has been converted into 2 apartments. And it's just the right price, and it's in Brooklyn. So they jump at the offer. And very early in the story, the characters hear about instances around New York where tenements have been infested with bedbugs. But they check the place out. The owner assures them she's had no problems ever with that. And so they move in, and the main character, the person who's telling us the story, is the wife, Susan. And she is kind of having a stressful time with this move. She just recently quit her job to pursue her passion as an artist, and she has some anxiety issues, and that is elevated when she thinks she's seeing bedbugs in their apartment. And I think that's all I should tell you about this book. It's definitely better to know less about it. I thought this was pretty good. I will say though that there ended up being a little bit of a supernatural twist to this that I felt like this book maybe would have been better without that, but definitely try it out for yourself. This one made me feel itchy all over and anxious, and it really makes you question what is really going on in this story, you know what I mean? Like, are what these characters perceiving, or is their perception of events really what's happening? And I love books like that. So this was definitely one to check out. Okay, the third book, well, this is actually just a novella. This is Warm Dark Places Are Best by Mike Duke. I talked about this in a wrap-up maybe 2 months ago, I think. And if you watch that, you'll know that I didn't really like this. But as everything, try it for yourself if this sounds interesting. So this is about another young couple who have fallen on really hard times. The boyfriend, I'm not sure if they're married, if it matters. I mean, but he has a physical disability, so he can't work. He can't do like physical labor, which is like the only jobs that he's finding. So they've fallen on hard times. They're looking for somewhere cheap to go, and they find a place, and it's not desirable. It's infested with cockroaches, but they know it's just something that they're gonna have to deal with. But surprisingly, when they move in, they notice that there are no cockroaches in their actual apartment, just like in the building. So they're like, that's kind of strange. Why is there no cockroaches in our apartment? But they're like, you know what? It's probably just been exterminated. Like maybe the managers had an exterminator come out right before we moved in or something. So, you know, they just count themselves lucky. But I don't know if they are lucky. And I think that I'd rather have cockroaches than deal with what happens in the rest of this book. So, the reason I didn't like it, it's a pretty short, I mean, it's a novella. I don't even know if it's 100 pages. It's like 92 pages. So there is a lot of sex scenes in here, which, like, I'm not clutching pearls. I don't mind that in books, but this was just so much for a novella, and it seems strange to me still that there are sex scenes in a novella. So there's that. He talks about vaginas constantly in this book. I don't know. I mean, I just didn't think that. I read back over this a little bit before to kind of refresh my memory, especially if I'm telling you that I didn't like this. Like, I want to know exactly why. And upon rereading it, the narration isn't so bad, but the dialogue is like my 12-year-old weird boy cousin telling me something, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't know, the dialogue is just not written well. And it's so strange that there's such a disconnect between like the story and the writing in the story and then the writing in the dialogue. I'm not sure why that is, but like I said, if this sounds interesting to you, definitely check it out. Mike Duke is an indie author, so, you know, above all, indie authors do need people to read their books. You know, they don't get the press that somebody like Stephen King does, obviously. So definitely check it out if that sounds interesting to you. The last one here is The Nest by Gregory Douglas. I got this from Valancourt Books. They've reprinted 5 books that were featured in Paperbacks from Hell, and this one I wanted to read so bad, so I was very excited that this was the first book that they reprinted. And obviously cockroaches here, which is very apropos of living where I do in the summer, because there are fucking cockroaches, and they are big and they're gross, and my cats kill them and leave them around the house, and it's just like I don't like it. I don't know if I can describe how much I fucking hate cockroaches, but I do. I hate them. They skitter. They are just so fast and sneaky and dirty and gross. And I know that they're like, if you see one cockroach, that means there's like 10,000 others that you don't see. And that terrifies me. In fact, I was sitting on the couch just a couple nights ago, and my cat brought me, I thought she was playing with like a pipe cleaner. She had brought a pipe cleaner up on the couch, and she was like looking around, like digging in the couch. And I thought she was just looking for her little pipe cleaner toy. But no, she pulled out a cockroach that was it was still kind of alive. Its legs were moving. And she brought that to me because she's a very good kitty, and she was very proud of herself, and is the worst day of my life. Poor white thing. So The Nest is about cockroaches who, by some weird scientific thing, they're like able to communicate with each other exceptionally well. And they're a little bit bigger than normal. By giant, I don't mean like Godzilla-sized cockroaches, but they describe them as like 5-6 inches long, which is pretty big, but just not like behemoth, I guess. And these cockroaches have a taste for blood. They also have extremely strong jaws, and they can basically obliterate a body. So that's what this is about. It takes place on a small New England island, and let's see, when was this published? This is an older book, obviously. Originally published in 1980. It was originally a zebra book too, and I'm not sure if I'd ever be able to find a decent copy of it, unfortunately, but one can hope. So this cockroach attack happens, and nobody really knows why. In fact, they're not even sure like what is happening at first. They're not sure that it's cockroaches. And I mean, they have no idea. They think it's like maybe rats or something. And so they called up some scientists from Harvard who come and try to figure out what is going on. I liked this one. I wouldn't say that it's the best book I've ever read, but I thought it was good. There were points, I think that, I mean, like, I am not a scientist, so when I say it gets scientific, I'm not sure if that's like real science, but it's science in this book. And sometimes that got kind of sloggy to get through. But I will say that I really appreciate that the author did that, because that makes it seem like a real solution to a problem, you know what I mean? Not just like, let's blow them all up, boys, you know? Like, they came together and they figured out how to take care of this mess. And I don't know. I thought there's like a couple things, just like every time a woman did something like smarter than average, everyone's like, oh, you sweet little thing, you're so great for a woman, and stuff like that. And like, I get the author's probably trying to be, I'm sure his intention was not to be patronizing, but that's how it came off to me. But I mean, that's of its time, and I'm not gonna whine about it. I just thought it was kind of funny, actually. This book was really gory and lots of body horror, which I really, really liked. And I thought the ending was good. So all around, better than average, just not my favorite book ever. I would definitely recommend it though, especially if you hate cockroaches like I do, because I think that just added a little extra element to it, a little extra like, ugh, to it. So, those are my 4 bug books. And I love doing these trope videos. It's so much fun. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next, but I'll be back with it the month after July, so August, that's what that is. I can't do them every month. That's just, I wouldn't be able to read other things if I spent all my time reading these trope books. So, let me know in the comments, have you read any of these? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Let me know if there's any tropes you think I should explore, because I'd love to hear your ideas for that too. But that is all I have for right now. I will see you guys later.